how to create a live texture effect of an image in Affinity Photo. This one is of London, but it can be applied to any kind of image. First thing to do, let's just remove all of this. So I've got this background image. I'm going to duplicate it. So go to Layer and then Duplicate. Then with the duplicate, I'm going to apply some effects later. But before that, I'm going to create the actual vectored mask. So go over here and I'm going to use the ellipse tool. You could use rectangle, you could use all kinds of different shapes, but I'm going to create multiple copies of it. So just create it, hold down the shift if you want a circular design. You don't have to have a circular design, of course. To duplicate it, you could hold down the Alt Option key and just duplicate it manually, perfectly reasonable, but I'm using the Move tool and duplicate. So select the Move tool, press Return or Enter on the keyboard, and you get this panel. With this panel, you can then go here to scale. I would suggest something like 93, 94, and also duplicate, and make certain you go for an odd number. So with that, I'm going to go with 21. Click OK. Doesn't look like anything's changed at the moment, but you've got lots of additional layers. So go over here, select all these layers, hold down the shift, and you've got all the ellipses selected. Then go to Layer, and then down here to Geometry and use XOR. So XOR, and that will create an effect like this, contour design or ring design. And again, it can be used with all kinds of things like rectangles and combinations of other shapes as well. But I'm also going to duplicate this as well. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, a like is great, would be absolutely wonderful. And also some comments. It's always nice to actually hear whether you're liking the video, finding it hard to understand, maybe it's too quick, too slow. Please let me know in the comments below. Always great to know. Now, what you can do, hold down the Alt Option key and drag. And you can repeat this multiple times. I'm going to go with 5 or 6. So I fill the entire screen. Just make it so it's a bit more complex mask than just a basic contour design. So you can go like that. You could, of course, distort the design and so on. It's still live, so you can manipulate it at any point. So again, select them all. So with all selected, I can then go to Layer and then go down here to Geometry. And this time I'm going to go with Add. Takes a few seconds, process, and it's done. Now you can still manipulate this. You can go over here and Node tool. They're just vectors, so you can manipulate in all kinds of ways. But what you can also now do is go here with this selected. You can just drag it down and just drag it onto this. Not here, but here. So this is highlighted, the actual just little small thumbnail, and release. Now what you can do, go to Effects at the bottom. So let's just select that whole layer, make certain the whole layer is selected like that. Go to Effects, click there, and then 3D. And now you can see you've got this lovely 3D texture added, and it's live as well, a live texture added to Affinity Photo's image of London. And manipulate the size, I've got 16.5, 16.7, and close. But also, you can add some effects as well. So you could leave it just like this, perfectly reasonable. But you can go over here with this selected, go to Layer, and then down here to New Live Filter Layer and Blur and Gaussian. Maybe use something else, but Gaussian Blur is always a useful one. So Gaussian Blur, and I'm just going to put the radius up, maybe go with 5. So you get this lovely blurring of the texture. And with that, I can close that. I could leave it at that point, but I can also distort it as well, keep it live as well. However, when you distort this, you will notice that the position of that distortion layer really matters. So if you find it slightly weird, well, I'm selecting this, the background here, go to Layer, and then down here, and just go to New Live Filter, and just distort and liquefy. But it's easy to be fooled by it, because I've manipulated for it, and now if you see how I distort this, what happens, you can see it distorts there, and you can see, but look what happens, the colour of the bus. I don't want that. I don't want the colour of the bus being distorted, but still, bear with me on this one, just distort it, and you can of course use other ones as well, twirl, there's a whole load of different options, but you can see you can create some really interesting sort of very intense sort of textures there with this design. Click Done, and you can see the result. Now you might be happy with this, but you can see what's happened. You got the colours of the bus, and you've got some other colours here, and you've got obviously Big Ben or Victoria Tower has been distorted just like that. Don't want that. What I want to do is move this. So you can see, let's just try it. Move it up above and you distort the whole thing, which, you know, you may or may not want. I think it's quite an interesting effect itself. But you can also drag it down and put it below, like that. Another option, you could drag it below that and put it there. And another one is you can drag it onto the curves, and that's what I'm just going to do. So curves, so you can see I've selected the whole thing there, drag it there. And now you can see what's been distorted. This vector design is being distorted. So I can still manipulate it. So I can go to this curve, so I can expand this out. You can see it's got liquefy there. It's been modified by that. So now the curves, I'm just going to quickly go over here to find the node tool. There's the node tool, select that. And you can see then if I just drag this over, and you can see as I do that, that will change the result. You can see it just move in there. Very subtle, I know, because there's lots of, but you can see as I do it, move that. You can create a variety of different designs simply by moving one node or maybe selecting multiple and so on. And once you've done that, you can go then back here and back to the background and you've got this design. What you can do if you want, once you've got this, you can always go to, of course, layer, and you can then merge visible. So merge visible. So I merge visible, and now I can do exactly the same thing. So again, I could maybe use the same curve. Perfectly reasonable. This curve, I could go down here, use it, and drag up here, and manipulate it to this as well. So put it up here. You've got the curve design there, and then go down here to pixels. Just drag it down there. And you can see then another way of manipulating this design and so on. So you're manipulating that new image as well now. And of course, using all the different effects, different liquefiers and so on. Now, I don't particularly want to do that, but I just want to show you, you can manipulate it further using this new pixel layer as well. Hope you found this of interest. Bye.